Okay, hello everyone. Thanks for joining us here at the USL Championship Final Press Conference. We want to thank our friends at Spurs Sports and Entertainment for hosting us this afternoon at the ATT Center. And we look forward to tomorrow's game at Toyota Field, 7:30 p.m. on ESPN2, ESPN Deportes, and Sirius XM Radio. Obviously, we have the top two teams in the USL Championship advancing to the final, San Antonio FC and Louisville City FC. It's my pleasure to announce our guests from San Antonio FC. We have head coach Alan Marcina and defender Mitchell Tainter, who is also the USL Defender of the Year. So I'll ask each of you to open with a statement. We'll start with Coach and then Mitch, and then we'll take questions from the press.
Yeah, first and foremost, thank you to the USL for putting this event on. If I'm not mistaken, it's been a while since the two #1 teams get to battle in a final. We're incredibly thankful for this opportunity to host in front of the best fans in the league. And we're hopeful and confident that we're going to put on a show, and hopefully good things can happen for us.
Yeah, just to echo what Alan said, I think the whole organization is really grateful and proud to be here. It's a great accomplishment for the club and for the city. But the job's not done yet, and we're playing against one of the best clubs in the USL historically with all the trophies they won. And it's two #1 teams, so it's going to be a great game, and we're thankful to be at home in front of our fans and hopefully come out with a good result.
Good to see you guys. Appreciate y'all being here. Alan, I'll start with you. We kind of talked about it a little bit at practice, but have you had a chance to really enjoy all of this and really just soak in? We've seen a lot of smiles from you these last few games.
Mm-hmm.
Are you having fun?
I mean, I love what I do. Those who know me, I'm incredibly passionate about the game. I'm passionate about working with professional athletes and seeing them grow as people first and then as players. So I love my job. Wouldn't trade it for anything. Incredibly passionate, incredibly blessed, incredibly thankful that the Spurs Sports and Entertainment provided me this opportunity in 2020. So I'm just enjoying every moment and trying to find moments in time to actually, reflect a little bit and say, hey, these guys have done an incredible job. They've achieved so much in so little time, and I'm incredibly proud of all of them. And yeah, hopefully there's one more cup on the line, and our hope is that we get to lift up that cup come tomorrow night.
You mentioned helping players grow. How do you feel that this team has grown? It's been a long season. A lot has gone on, a lot of injuries. How has this team grown this season?
Exponentially. We have a player leadership group. Mitchell is in that group. We have a clear process in place, and we rely on our player leadership. We have a clear team identity, clear standards, which the player leadership group, their teammates have helped co-create. They hold themselves and their teammates accountable to those standards on a daily basis. And as leaders, Mitchell beside me and the other leadership group and the players in general have grown from preseason to now, and I'm just so incredibly grateful to be a part of that journey.
And I'll ask one more and pass it and then get it back later so I don't hog the mic. Talk about the leaders on your team. How has PC been able to still impact this team and be a leader, even though he hasn't been able to physically be on the field?
So PC, first and foremost, great human being, great family man, beautiful family, beautiful daughter, beautiful wife. He's a great husband. He's a great father. He's there with us. If he could play, believe me, he'd be on the field. He even asked it, Coach, I need to play. I want to play. And it's like, PC, you got to take care of yourself. You got to take care of your family in this very moment. But he's been incredibly supportive. Shared a little story today with the group, which was very deep, meaningful, appropriate. And, he's been a tremendous leader, a person who leads by example, wears his heart on his sleeve, gives every ounce of himself on that field for this club, for this organization, for this city. Somebody I've seen also grown tremendously as a leader. So proud of him and everything he's doing for our team, and all the guys. The guys have been fantastic. It's a special group. I'm just so proud of them, and everything they've got, they've earned. This is a fact. Everything they've got, they've earned, and that's why I'm so proud.
Hey, Coach. So how do you prepare to play against a team that you've never played against before? How different is it? How do you prepare for it? And just your thoughts on that.
So every opponent we have the utmost respect for. That's an opponent you're playing in a final. It's an opponent, regardless of where they are in the standings. Our preparation has been consistent. I do think that's the key to success, is being consistent. There's been no different for Louisville. Yes, we may have not played them in the regular season, but we've been relentless in our preparation. We've left no stone unturned. The players know their strengths, areas we can exploit, key players we must shut down. So nothing's going to change from our part.
Louisville City is a team that has scored the most goals off of set pieces. You guys have
Mhm.
quite a bit of fouls as well under your belt. Very physical team, which is what you guys do so well. So how do you still continue to play your game but mitigate those set piece possibilities?
Yeah, so Louisville, it's clear, I believe it's 8 conference finals, 2 USL championships. For me, for any club, team, coach, organization, what you strive for is sustainable success, and Louisville has achieved that. That being said, again, we've left no stone unturned. We understand that they're effective on set plays, dead ball situations. We've prepared for that. We have a plan in place, and the idea is to execute the tasks, and hopefully that's enough to get us a result.
That you're keeping your eye on specifically from Louisville City?
I mean, I think first and foremost, it's a great team. You can tell it's a team that's been together for some time, sprinkling obviously some new faces to continue to do what they do. And, you know, they've been extremely successful. And of course, there are key players that we understand their strengths and weaknesses. The players understand them. And the idea is to stop them and then try to, our goal and our intent with every game is to play our opponent into playing our way. And if that's the case, we feel confident that the odds are in our favor.
Hi, Mitch. Hope you're not feeling too lonely and unappreciated over there. So I'll start with you. You and your teammates, and Alan, of course, will say that you treat every game seriously. You treat every game like a final. So how does this week and this match maybe feel different now that it is actually a final?
It doesn't feel any different. I think that was a really big message from the leadership group to everybody else today and throughout the weeks in training leading up to playoffs as well. Yeah, there are trophies on the line. These are one and done games. We're incredibly grateful to be here, but we've treated every game like it's a final this year. And if we play our game and we execute our tasks and don't succumb to the moment, because it is a big moment, but we need to mentally think of it like every other game this year. And that's when I think we thrive. I think if we think of it as a final and say, oh, we can't lose the final, then we're going to lose the final. So it's about keeping a steady head and just business as usual every week.
And of course, you've been with SAFC for the last 3 years, at least for part of each season, and you've been just picking away. And now that you're finally literally within sight of the trophy, it's right next to the table. How does it feel to actually have built up and gotten this close now?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, these are these are moments that we've trained for our entire lives. It's lifelong dreams to play in finals. And it's great to see how the club has grown in the last 3 years. You can see a steady progression from 2020 when Alan came in and the players that he brought in. It's a clear identity. And every year we've gotten guys who are going to fit the mold of our club and, produce results and play that we want to play. So it's been great to be here and obviously incredibly thankful to be here in this situation. But, there's no resting on that. There's no guarantee that, we're going to win a final. So we need to really take the opportunity and make the most of it.
And for Alan, I know after the last match, you said you lacked sleep. And I'm sure coming into this match, you're going to have difficulty, trying to rest and relax and everything tonight. When you're not getting your 5 minutes of sleep tonight, what are you going to be thinking about? What are you going to be doing? Are you just going to be trying to take deep breaths and relax? Are you going to be thinking about the game still? What's it looking like?
No, it looks like every night, the focus is on what we can control, making sure that no stone has been left unturned. That's all the way up into the lead up of the game. So my process will be consistent as it's been all year.
Alan, in 2014, you lifted a trophy for this city with a different organization, different league. Today, you're about to maybe lift another one tomorrow. What is different from that organization to this one? And follow up on that, how is Alan Marcina different from 2014?
So Alan Marcina has a few more gray hairs, that is for sure. But all seriousness, I mean, obviously we work for one of the best organizations in the world with Spurs Sports and Entertainment. Incredibly grateful, incredibly blessed to be a part of this organization. As human beings, we learn and we grow daily, so there's been a lot of experiences from that time, a lot of growth for me personally, but it's processes always improve, but we're consistent with behaviors and actions and continue to learn and grow, and we're appreciative that we're in this moment, opportunity to potentially lift up the USL Cup.
Mitch, I just wanted to revisit what you said about not getting lost in the present moment. It's a huge game. I'm sure it's possible to, make it feel bigger than it needs to be. So as a player, how do you manage your nerves going into that game? And as a leader, how do you help your teammates do the same?
Well, I think it's controlling your emotions and being confident in what got you to this point. I think, you really need to not be a superstar like Alan says, and really just do your role and what's expected of you. I feel like we've been very consistent all year, and there haven't been too many ups and downs. There are, obviously, because it's sports, but for the most part, it's been pretty steady Eddie. And going into a final, you look back and reflect on the year you've had, and you think about games in certain scenarios that you've been in, how you've learned, where you got beat, where you've succeeded, kind of the culmination of all that through the whole year. And it's just another game, like I said. And so having that composure and that confidence going into the game, and showing that to your teammates in the locker room and helping them, because other guys haven't been in this moment. I'm one of the more experienced guys, and leading by example there, and just saying, hey boys, like, it's okay, it's another game. We've prepared the same way every single week, and this week is no different. So just about letting them know that everyone's confident. It's the same week, nothing's different, and we just got to go out and play it like every other game.
You were recently named Defender of the Year. Is that something that you set out to do at the very first game, or is that something that as time developed, you felt like maybe, was a little bit more realistic? Or just elaborate on that and how it feels to just have that title now.
Yeah, I mean, I think throughout my whole career, I've obviously thought, I'm a good player and a good defender. And I think, a lot of focus has gone into that in my younger years. But as I've gotten older, you can't really focus on those sorts of things because I can't vote. It's a voting game. It's a beauty contest, and it's a very subjective sport. So I'm obviously incredibly grateful to win the award. I think Alan's played a huge role in my development as a player, as a person, as a man, and as a leader on this team. And so, without him, I don't get this award. Without my teammates, I don't get this award. I'm incredibly grateful, but the award doesn't mean anything if we don't lift the trophy to the right over here.
This one, playing at home field, you got that home field advantage. Is there anything that you want to say to your fans? Something maybe specifically that helps you guys during the game to just pick it up when you need their help? Anything that you want to say to them about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think they do a really good job of reading the game. I think they're all very intelligent. They're emotionally invested in the game. You see it at the Spurs games all the time. The fans are into it, and it's the same people come to our games as well. So these people are from San Antonio. They love San Antonio. They have a great sense of pride of their teams in our city. And I take a great pride in that as well. And so do a lot of guys on the team. And I think the fans recognize that and really identify with us. And, they're behind us all the way, and they want us to win just as much as we do.
Mitch, I got a lot of questions for you, so I want to let everybody else, get theirs off first. First thing, kind of similar to what I asked Coach, during success, it's hard to really take a step back and enjoy what's going on and really reflect on what's happening? Have you had a chance to soak all of this in? A lot has happened in these last few weeks. Defensive Player of the Year, playoff wins. Have you been able to soak it in?
I think, soaking everything in and really being appreciative of where you are is a big part of sports, but at the same time, it's not a celebration yet. Our goal from the jump this year was to win a championship. And so obviously in the off season, it's time to reflect and, either celebrate or figure out where you're going to retool for next year. But, we've had a lot of great achievements this year, but, our main goal has been to win a trophy, not the Western Conference, but the final. So we're here, and it's obviously a great achievement, but, there's no celebrating yet. There's no reflections yet. It's just about, the next game and trying to figure out ways to win.
And you're very, very calm, very chill, off the field. But as soon as you get on that field, something clicks and you become that aggressor. Where do you get that from? Where do you get all that physicality from on the field? All the energy you bring. It's so different than what you're off the field.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been like that. Ever since I was younger, coaches and my parents were telling me I need to calm down. And even through my professional career, every coach I've had has said, hey, you got to take a step back. But coming here to San Antonio and playing for Allen, he lets me be myself on the field, and he's found a way to channel all that into the right areas. And I think that's why I've had so much success, and why I've really grown into the role I have is because he allows me to be who I am. He changes me as a player, but recognizes my strengths as a person and my mentality, and lets me be who I am.
Alan, can you touch on that a little bit and just what Mitch just said about you allowing him to just be who he is as a player?
I think it's important, when we go through this process of identifying the right people that fit the SAFC style of play, certain traits and characteristics that we seek. And when we make those decisions, clearly we have belief, and we're not here to change anyone. We're just here to identify the right ones that fit what we're trying to do. And Mitchell, along with his teammates, are great examples of that. There is structure in place, but within structure, they have the freedom to express themselves. And I do feel that's when you can get the best out of people.
And talking about getting all these guys into one spot and having that same type of player, that same mentality, you guys have this monster mentality that goes around, and y'all been talking about it. For those that do not know, Mitch, what is that?
Being a mentality monster, and regardless of what happens in the game, good or bad, you just got to keep putting one foot in front of the other, going step by step, never giving up on a play. I mean, we've scored a bunch of goals in the first minute and in the last minute of games throughout the year, and I think that's a testament to our locker room culture, the values that we set at the beginning of the year, and ultimately being mentality monsters and finding ways to win. That's the objective of the game, is to find ways to win, and I think our team's really great at that.
How does your captain Connor exemplify that? I know you guys are very close. Talk about Connor a little bit.
Yeah, he's an amazing leader. I've known him for a long time, since I was the little kid. He's always the hardest worker in the room. Every day he is the first in, last out, working his socks off every day in training in the 107-degree heat during the South Texas summer, and it's really difficult to do that, especially with how hard Allen works us during the year. But he sets a great example for everybody, and he's one of our main leaders along with PC, and they set a great example and a great foundation for success with our team.
Back to reflecting and just enjoying the moment. Can you talk a little bit about what that arena was like last Sunday in the conference final?
Yeah, I mean, the year before we had a huge disappointment in the conference final, and I think that the fans felt that sense of disappointment as well. And so we felt like we had a really great opportunity for redemption on our home field in front of our fans in our city and in our stadium. And I think everyone took full advantage of that and didn't let that moment slip. Like I said, you don't get to these points very often in your career, and we might never play in another final again. And I think everyone resonates with that. It's a hardworking city. We're a hardworking team, and I think everyone's grateful to be here, but everyone wants more. And so the fans are into it. We're into it. And, they feed off us and we feed off them. It's a great relationship that we have with them.
It's not just a fan-heavy environment. It's also a family-heavy environment. You see post-game, every player's family's here in some capacity. What does that mean to you guys? Not only be able to play in front of your fans, but to be with your family and not have to be on the road taking this journey.
Yeah, I mean, my fiance moved from California to be with me in San Antonio. She believes in me and wanted to chase my dream with me. So to be able to see her in the stands and have my family fly in and share these moments with them means the world to me. And I know it means the world to them as well. And, they want to see me succeed, and to be able to share these moments with them and have the photos after games and just being able to hug them after a win or a loss, it makes me realize why we do it. And, sports are are amazing. I think it's the only industry or anything in the world that'll give you these types of emotions week in and week out. And, you know, there's a lot of travel during the year. So when you get to have these moments at home, they're really something to cherish.
Jump in quick and Alan, give you the opportunity to answer that same question. You being a family man as well.
Yeah, my family's my everything. You know, last game I got to share an incredible moment, a moment that I will never forget. You know, my two daughters were there to celebrate, to take pics. Both of them got to take pictures with the trophy, and you know, like any father, you know, your children, you're their heroes, and they're like, oh my God, Dad won a cup, and it's the best thing in the world. And again, just to see how happy they were, you know, how proud they were of their dad. You know, it's something that will last forever, that memory and that moment. And I'm just incredibly grateful that I got to experience that with my two beautiful children.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, the #1 overall seed has not won since 2016. For both of you, and Mitch, you can go first. What would it mean to break that streak?
Yeah, I mean, I think there have been a lot of records on the line this year. We fell short of a couple of them, and it was incredibly disappointing. I think we're, you know, maybe in a leadership sense, in a locker room sense, is we talked a lot about those records going into that Orange County game, and I think that kind of loomed over our heads a little bit. And like I said before, you can't go into a final saying, "Oh, I don't want to lose this final." And I think going into that Orange County game, we're like, "Wow, we're so close to these records, we can't lose these records," and we ended up losing those records. So being a #1 team is great, but it doesn't mean anything unless you win the cup at the end. So I don't think we're focusing on that at all. I know it is a stat. It's something that hasn't been done for a while, but even if we were the 7 or 8 seed and we're in the final, our mentality is the same. We're going to go in there and win regardless of the seed that we're at. And yeah, I mean, obviously we're going to try to win regardless of what place we were in going into the game.
Can you repeat that question?
Yeah, just basically what it means. Team hasn't. Well, see, that's why I wrote it down.
No worries.
The #1 overall seed hasn't won since 2016. What does it mean to break that streak?
Again, I think since 2020, we've broken a number of different club and league records over the course of 3 years. So we've gone against the grain on many things. Many people said we couldn't do this or that, yet we've achieved it. A lot of firsts this year. First time to win a Western Conference championship. We were the regular season champions or had the most points within the league. So a lot of firsts. So hopefully this is another first. I know since 2016, but you know, why can't it be another one in 2022?
Great. Once again, I'd like to thank our representatives from San Antonio FC, and best of luck to you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
We will take a slight pause here while we await the Louisville City representatives.